So when asked to be in the Harmoni Pendant study, I was interested because I believe that looking at the heart rate variability is so key to looking and getting an inside look on what I just kind of term generically as resilience for my clients. So we wanted to look directly into that autonomic nervous system or the sympathetic parasympathetic system and see with heart rate variability, how well are they able to adapt to stress in life. What we were looking at is doing a heart rate variability scan and determining a baseline, and then we exposed them to a negative EMF field and then rescan the clients in what would actually be like a typical office environment, really, or a home environment if you're working at your home computer with these negative EMF fields, and see how did that affect their biology as compared to baseline. We charged the Harmoni Pendant and put the Harmoni Pendant on the client, and then just waited a few moments and then rescanned again in the same negative EMF environment as they were, so that we could see were there some inferred benefits from just simply wearing the Harmoni Pendant. And then I did my own scan and showed that it does, truly affect my heart rate variability.
And there's this little pendant, which I love. This is a EMF protecting pendant. And so I'm checking this out. And I have to say I'm sleeping better since I've been wearing it. I'm not getting as much brain fog because I'm on my phone a lot. I am, we all are these days, especially as we're working from home.
I would say we had one really impressive benefit that happened to several of our participants, which was improved sleep. And it was dramatic. Others saying that they just felt a little bit less tired and a little bit more relaxed. And I do believe the mitochondria, where we produce energy, is potentially one of the main locations where the pendant may be working. Our mitochondria are sensitive to things like frequencies and light and thoughts. And the more on board and happier and healthier your mitochondria are, the better you're going to feel in all aspects of your life. So one had just had a baby, and she, wrote me back like freaking out because it was the first night both her and the baby slept through the night.
EMF stress is like static electricity. It's like trying to listen to something and pay attention when you have lots of static in the background, and it throws our bodies out of balance, and it operates at a faster frequency. And the really remarkable thing is the Harmoni Pendant helps your body just go back to its natural state, and not so that it's not sped up by those EMFs in the environment. And so I think that calming is just a huge benefit of the pendant, and just allowing the body to focus on what it needs to do without being distracted, and helping the body deal with that constant source of stress.
And so I started doing the studies, and we included the live blood along with doing heart rate variability. I think the thing that I really appreciated most was watching the changes in the live blood. Most of them were saying they felt calmer, they had more focus, they had more energy, they slept better. Yeah, one of the guys, he's wound tight as a clock, and he just mellowed as he was harmonizing. You could just see him relax. And he literally said that to me. He goes, I don't know what kind of juice you put in this thing, but this is the best I've felt in a long time.
We did the heart rate variabilities. I've got the HRV thing that we did before and after. And I'll tell you, it was pretty much across the board. I would say 85% to be conservative, maybe 90, but of the people, once you run a heart rate variability just to get the baseline, and then would introduce the stressor. And then afterwards, when we harmonized them just for 2 minutes, I did it for 2 minutes, everybody across the board, same kind of measurement, and about 85, maybe 90% of them went up. I would say the low end went up maybe 10 to 15%, but I saw some people who went up like 30 to even 40%, a couple of people. So it was pretty impressive.
Well, I'm a biochemist by training and a PhD in molecular and cellular physiology, so I've had a long-standing interest in how the body works. We are electric beings. The people who live in major cities underneath cell towers, they're constantly bombarded with not low-level EMF, but high level EMF. Everybody's stressed, everybody's running at maximal speed. So there are a lot of things that we're subjected to that drain voltage, whether it's chemicals from the food we eat or EMFs from the environment, from all these towers and technologies. So I became interested in this little study because we were provided a means through changes in heart rate variability and a number of other outputs, really some interesting algorithms, that you could see what the kind of the total voltage or power of the human is based on any given situation. Well, I would notice that when I would harmonize them with the pendant immediately afterwards, you can actually see the frequencies start to move when you harmonize them with them, and then you place them. Sometimes it would take, a couple of minutes in some people, but during that time, they felt a calming. They could actually feel it. I think probably 80% of the people said that they slept better the night they're there, and they're still wearing the pendant today. And some of these I did a couple months ago.
The verbal feedback has been similar to what we're saying, in that they just feel more calm and kind of a stress level down. And it's really quite noticeable in this time. I mean, everybody's on the high stress. We have so much uncertainty happening in the world and so much chaos. And I think that just to give them a tool to help them into that, I have a really high level stress, in my job as well. And I am raising 4 children, and we have 2 additional businesses in addition to this clinic. So just a high level of always on the go feeling. And I know that brings me into my sympathetic more than I'd like to. So I really felt that it had a calming effect on me and just more level-headed, to be able to get through my day easier.
I have one patient who is a truck driver and has noticed from wearing the pendant that, he said he typically felt agitated or angry, and he feels remarkably calmer and more relaxed since he's been wearing the pendant. And to me, it's almost as like a personality change. It's that dramatic. It's just remarkable.
I want something that's quantifiable, that's objective, that I can feel good about explaining a mechanism of action. My reputation's at stake and their health is at stake. Sometimes it's these small things that may seem really trivial that have the greatest effect on their health.
Hi, I'm Wendy Myers, and I have a confession to make. I used to be totally paranoid about EMFs, or electromagnetic fields, but I think I was right to be a bit freaked out. Just think about it. There are now 257 million smartphones in the US alone. Worldwide, the number will soon be 3.8 billion in 2021. Wi-Fi is installed in every business, home, and city, and don't expect EMF and wireless radiation regulations to change anytime soon. The EMF safety guidelines haven't been updated since 1986, when there was only a tiny fraction of the EMF that we're exposed to today. As you'll learn on the page below, EMFs cause a whole host of issues in the body because they disrupt the voltage or energy levels of your cells. I've worked with clients for whom EMFs caused metabolic issues, problems losing weight. Ultimately, they are becoming a huge new stressor on the body that already lives in a stressful environment. So what's the solution? Well, my go-to tool for protection is something called the Harmoni Pendant. The new Harmoni Pendant is now available in 2 sizes, one for men and a smaller one for women. And it's shown to lower metered levels of EMF passing through the human body, and to improve HRV, or heart rate variability, which is a scientifically respected way of telling how stressed your body and nervous system is. The new Harmoni Pendant, which you can see here, delivers actual, real, measurable results that you can feel working. More is explained below on how the pendant works, but the Cliff Notes version is that when you're wearing the pendant, your nervous system shifts into parasympathetic mode. That's where you're resting and relaxing and digesting and detoxing, which provides greater levels of both coherence, something that can be measured in brainwave EEG tests, and stress resilience as measured by HRV. And EMFs, which would normally disrupt a weak less optimized nervous system and body just passes right through. We're all exposed to electromagnetic radiation, but for those whose cellular voltage, body field, and nervous system is compromised, EMFs will measurably enter the body and do more damage. While those who have the Harmoni Pendant on, whose voltage, body field, and nervous system are optimized and coherent, will not be as vulnerable. The EMFs do not show up in the same way or cause the same damage. One of the engineers that we worked with, James Gorn, who's an electrical engineer, actually tested this. He took people without the Harmoni Pendant on and had them hold their phone and tested the EMF levels in the other hand to see how much EMF was passing through their body. It was a considerable amount in those without the pendant, and then we took those with the pendant on and did the same test. Amazingly, almost no EMF made it into the other hand, showing that the body was no longer as vulnerable to radiation passing through it. So for me, I felt so many benefits when I started wearing it about 2 years ago. I had a dramatic impact on my mood and how good I felt when I woke up in the morning. I had deeper sleep. I had more energy levels. I just kind of felt more calm throughout the day, and my energy levels were a lot more steady. And I also had less brain fogginess. I was able to concentrate better. I just felt like this light bulb had been turned on, is the best way to describe it. And I just don't worry about EMFs anymore because I feel like I don't have to. I have peace of mind that I have a device that works, that we know works, that goes with me everywhere I go to protect me, and that is proven by measuring EMF levels going through your body. And I've seen some pretty miraculous stories from the Harmoni Pendant that have me convinced that this can help anyone. This includes an individual that had EMF sensitivity so bad that he couldn't even get on an airplane. The increased radiation was just too much for his system. But with the Harmoni on, he traveled fine with no reactions whatsoever. If it's worked for me and the thousands of other people wearing the Harmoni Pendant, I'm confident that it's going to work for you too. I invite you to try out the pendant. Use the discount buttons on the page below. You can save significantly by getting multiple pendants for loved ones, and we did this intentionally because, as I mentioned, children are more EMF sensitive than adults, so I urge people to get one for their children. I can't tell you what a relief it is to not have to worry and stress anymore about EMF solutions or how to protect my body. I tried everything out there. I tried the little cell phone EMF stickers, the radiation pads to protect you from your personal computer. I did all kinds of things like turning off my wireless router at night and putting my phone in airplane mode and on. But the problem is that doesn't protect you from all of your neighbors' wireless routers and Wi-Fi signals as well. But that doesn't protect you from the EMFs that we're encountering every day when we leave our home. You need a solution like the Harmoni Pendant that's protecting your body directly, that's like a little personal shield around your body, protecting you no matter what you're exposed to, that you're getting in and outside of your home. We live in crazy exciting times. Technology has vastly improved everyone's lives. But with the Harmoni Pendant, we don't have to fear technology or EMFs in the same way. We can live in the modern world and know that our bodies are being protected. That makes me happy and so thrilled to introduce you to this new Harmoni Pendant with a totally new design and size options available so that you can get the best one for you, for your family, and your loved ones. I look forward to hearing about your experience from wearing your Harmoni Pendant. Don't get Wi-Fi'd, get a Harmoni Pendant.
My name is Tom from Wellington, Florida, and I just experienced the Harmoni Pendant for the first time. And I really feel more relaxed, more comfortable, and more balanced. And I think I'm going to try to wear this all the time now because I feel like it's really made a difference for me.
Hi, I'm James Gorin. I'm a biomedical engineer, an electrical engineer and an organic chemist from the past. Electromagnetic frequencies is really what the brain runs the body on. But when it's static and it's disrupting and puts a shield or a blockade of static all around the outside cell membranes, you're blocking communication in and out of those cells. And they start to dysfunction. The symptoms today for people having high doses of EMF, people who work in front of computers all day long or keep the cell phones right next to us, they're finding they have headaches, nausea, can't concentrate, blurry eyesight. I mean, it just, the body responds differently in every person to some degree, and all kinds of adverse effects crop up when you're in an area of high EMF. Our bodies are getting hit harder and harder with disrupting fields, and 5G will be quite disrupting. Even when you're driving, you put an EMF meter on the front dashboard or anywhere around your steering wheel, man, you're being lit up the entire time you're driving. So we have to find a way to become resilient to this. That's the whole key to success for health going forward in our future for the whole world. If our cells remain high efficiency, high function, high quality performance day in and day out by keeping their energy up and helping to block the disrupting fields from lowering that energy, then I'm all for it. The Harmoni Pendant seems to protect people from high EMF and also helping to keep the energy up in the cells in their body. When you're running smooth, and that's what this pendant is designed to do, that's what they show its function is. It smooths the energy around your body. And from my meters, it shows that as well. I'm seeing that the amount of EMF is lowered when you're wearing it. Any product that shows on my meters that it's making things better for a human, I'm all there. All these things will help us going forward to live with 5G and stay healthy and stay happy and feel good every day when you wake up. That's what these things are all designed for. We can be pain-free. We can have all of our body functioning at very optimal levels, and we can be resilient to all of the technology and disrupting energy fields. And that's what this is all about.
Hi, my name is Bill. I'd like to take a few minutes to talk to you about my experience with the Harmoni Pendant. It's been very positive, and I'd like to take you back in time a little bit with my experience as a slalom water skier. And I've been doing this for over 40 years in competition, and I train regularly year-round. One of the biggest benefits that I gained was that it allows me to ski with full arm power that I just didn't have before, and that's helped my scores go up. Another thing I noticed that was quite significant was I used to be able to train 4 days a week. Recovery was difficult. I stayed in a sympathetic fight or flight mode. And with the Harmoni Pendant, it allows your body to go into parasympathetic. So with that extra recovery, I picked up 25% more training days. I went from 4 to 5 days a week. And I quite much feel that is the reason. It's because of that harmonizing effect. So the recovery was benefit number 2 for me. The next thing that I noticed is that in preparation for training, whether it's competition or just practice, that I always wanted to find a way, could I test a way where I could discover that this pendant is really making a difference? And I want to prove it to myself. Because a lot of times you think, well, maybe it was the position of the stars or the moon or something like that that made you have a good day or a bad day. My scores got very consistent because I would do a test and I found out what works. And here's what I did. Where I do my practice, we have a ski handle that hangs up above your head. So you have to jump up, grab it, and your feet are off the floor, and I try to do pull-ups. Now, if it was a day when I was really worn out and I hadn't recovered, there's no amount of pendant that's going to affect that. You just got to go home and take a couple of days off and rest. But you know what? When you come back and you are rested and you are recovered and you try to do those pull-ups, you can tell some days that something is missing. It's just not right. And if you don't fix that, you're probably not going to ski well that day, and you'll know that you're going to have that problem. So what I did was, on a day like that, when those pull-ups came hard, maybe 1 or 2 was all I could do, I would go harmonize, and I'd come back, and you know what I discovered? I could do 10 or 12 of them, and that tells me this thing works. My scores in the last year or two have been the most consistent high scores at all competition that I go to. If you look at my scores, they're almost always the same. Where before, you'd have good days and bad days. So consistency in the use of the pendant was another benefit that I got. No question about it.
I've been training for the last 35 years and trying to improve my skiing, and at the beginning I worked out like 4 times a week, and I skied like 3 or 4 sets a week, and and then injuries came in, and you know, it slows you down. And so over the years I was always looking for something that would help me with my strength level and also to get less injuries. And since I started the pendant in 2009, it actually, there's 2 major things. First of all, as I said before, I had to work out at least 4 times a week to keep my strength up. Now I'm doing like 2 workout sessions a week. That's the biggest one. And then the other thing is I had no major injuries for the last 10 years since I've been wearing the pendant, which really helps keep me going and perform at a high level. I had some major injuries. I broke my ankle 3 times. I dislocated my shoulder. I broke my finger, and that's why I wanted to find something that can help me to prevent those injuries and recover faster. And the pendant really did its job on that. After I started harmonizing, the next day I already felt a big difference, and it hasn't changed since then. I have not had any injuries, and I perform at a really high level with less workout. I'm really glad I gave the Harmoni Pendant a try 9 years ago. I would know what I would do without it, because it really changed my life.
Sleep is so important for me. My job is so intensive. If I couldn't sleep well, the next day is terrible. It's miserable. I remember in the first beginning, I thought my back pain and make me waking up is also because of the mattress. So I keep changing my mattress. Almost like every 2 years, I change a mattress to buy more and more expensive mattress. But that is not the problem. I just wake up from my back pain, so I couldn't really sleep well. And it's frustrating. Some nights I woke up, I just couldn't sleep anymore. So when I had this pendant, I don't have this anymore. It never come back to me. I always can sleep well. I remember that magic moment, that when my back was together with the pendant, harmonized together, I feel some kind of feeling in my back, and then a little bit of heat on my skin. I can feel it, and then it just like loosened. My blood circulation probably get better, and then I don't feel pain anymore when I walk around. I thought it's a placebo, and I didn't take it seriously, but I think just to give it a try to keep wearing it for 1 or 2 weeks. And during that 1 or 2 weeks, my pain didn't come back. I just still cannot believe it even today, but I'm so happy that just the pain doesn't come back. I'm wearing this Harmoni Pendant. It always reminds me that I'm in good hands, that the pendant is taking care of me. And that could be the peace of mind, but at the same time, I can feel it improve my status of performance in playing tennis and in focus on my business. So I think it's both a mental effect on me, this pendant, but also physically, I think it harmonizes my body, just making my body can coordinate much better than before.